Over the years, Guilty Gear has used its exceptional soundtrack, outlandish characters, and dynamic gameplay to trick people into liking it, just to lure them into a fatal... Recently, my main and official Pookie Bear, sorry ladies, has made his return to the series, and I'm getting back into the game after a while of being off the horse. Venom's return wasn't the only thing that piqued my interest though, as Guilty Gear Strive apparently now has an anime. So, I booted up my mythical piracy chalkboard and gave it a look-see. How was it? Well, before I get into that, let me clarify my position as being a longtime casual fan of the series. I've played quite a few of the games, but I'm far from fully knowledgeable about all the lore, so keep in mind that that's the perspective I'm going to be coming at this from. If you are already a super fan and a lore nerd, I'm sure that you'll check this out yourself and don't need me to tell you what to do. However, for everybody else watching, is this a good place to start? Does it supplement the game? Is in it? Well, I'll start with this. I do not think this is the best Guilty Gear anime to be watching because, while not officially, Guilty Gear has effectively had an anime for years now. The game's story mode, at least in the modern titles, is literally just a collection of cutscenes that go on for around 4.5 hours with no gameplay to speak of. It sounds really dumb, but it's actually pretty cool, but... No, okay, I guess it's kinda dumb. All this gameplay is available to view on YouTube, as well as myriad great summaries of the game's timeline, which I'd personally recommend as a very solid entry point for the lore. If having a character who was a former drug addict, studied the blade, became a ninja, and then founded a country where he still had to run for president despite it already being named after him sounds interesting to you, please check out this lore. It's a great time. This new anime, though, takes place chronologically after pretty much everything else in the series, so I definitely recommend against starting here. It's a pretty basic story following a woman who hates the Gears, an in-universe race of entities initially designed for warfare, and is trying to stop them from intermingling with humans and becoming further accepted, a sentiment that's complicated by her nature as not fully human. Maybe? It's only a few episodes deep right now, but it's decently interesting on the narrative front, barring a few corny jokes here and there. What I really want to hone in on, though, is the production. Guilty Gear Strive Dual Rulers is made by the studio behind the recent seasons of Bang Dream, so that's actually pretty cool. And the director is Yu Ko, who has worked on a lot of dope stuff like Project Akko, Princess Tutu, and Chrono Crusade over the years. I had high hopes after seeing that, especially considering the character designs are very, very well made. I personally think that these Guilty Gear Strive designs are weaker than some of the others in the series due to being a bit less rambunctious, less sharp, and oddly proportioned, but I won't deny that they are looking their absolute best here. Throw in a few very solid cuts of effects animation and clever cinematic tricks, and you've got the recipe for a great anime adaptation. Right? Well, we have a very heavy emphasis on split screens, dramatic zooms, action lines, and triple takes to exaggerate motion here. I mean very heavy. This is all done in a largely repetitive and kind of tacky looking manner in my opinion, and the production is just so unbalanced that I think the really great parts of it serve to make the weaker scenes of PNGs flying across the screen look so much more jarring. I just can't help but feel that it's slightly rushed. Like, I cannot begin to describe how many double and triple takes there are in these first 2 episodes alone. Probably around 30. They almost always are accompanied by the same generic blue action line background screen, and it frankly feels kind of spammy. Like, I watched this director reuse the same techniques 5 times in one fight, and it gives me the feeling of being spammed by the same mix-up 5 times in one fight while playing Guilty Gear. One criticism that I heard that I actually don't agree with, however, is the outfit design. The characters, largely regardless of context, are always in their over-the-top, full combat outfits even when it doesn't fit the environment. But I think this kind of goofy, stilted vibe really fits the camp of the series perfectly. I just wish the production overall looked a bit better. Like, look at this scene. Wait, I haven't seen this. Wait, this actually looks pretty dope. Yo. It's kind of chill. Yo! Whoa, who Who's that? Whoa. Yo, is he okay? Yo, the triple take! I take back everything I said. Guilty Gear Strive Dual Rulers is my new favorite anime of all time. I think they casted really handsome male leads. I think the male leads are very attractive, and I think they just did a great job casting attractive male leads.
Can you shut the fuck up?
Okay, fine. My verdict on this Guilty Gear Strive Dual Rulers anime is... it's okay. I would not recommend starting with it as far as the lore goes, but if you're a big fan of Guilty Gear and you really want to see your favorite characters doing some pretty cool stuff on screen all at once, I think it's worth checking out. I, however, didn't love the comedy and got pretty caught up on the presentation. Not to be the bearer of bad news, but those attractive, handsome male leads I was showing aren't actually in the show. It's just some random 6'3" guys I found at a feminist literature convention. They were talking about some 10 years and faithful, 6-minute mile, 8 inches and thing. I don't really remember. But the point is, the show's alright, but nothing too crazy.
Hey, thank you so much to the Patreons. I'm not getting from you, but I want to say thank you to Hermit's Nook and Artemis Locke.
And I want to say thank you to Ev and Aesop.
And Some Goon and Karta. Fuck.
And you know, Funky Boy Haas.